Got another standing room.
Yeah.
Standing room.
Standing room on. You know, you didn't pull it big enough to grab the knife you did yesterday. We're slipping.
Yeah, it's okay.
I gotta introduce you.
Just grab like everybody down the stairs.
No idea.
It's like everybody's, we got there.
What?
It's 7 o'clock, it's time to call our meeting to order. Amy, please call the roll.
Mr. Neely,
Here.
Mr. Rath,
Here.
Mr. Ryan, Mr. Barker,
Here.
Ms. Blind. Present. Mr. Shu.
Present.
Mr. Cost.
Here.
Mr. Hauser.
Here.
Mr. Labutus.
Here.
Mr. Marmy.
President.
All right, would you please stand for the invocation and then remain standing for the pledge? Mr. Hauser, please lead some prayer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's pray. Lord, I want to thank you so much for just blessing us with the opportunities ahead in this new year. I pray that you would watch out for our decision making and guide us as we go into this new year, and just help us along major projects, undertakings the city has, that you would guide us in that. I also want to lift up our safety forces to you, our police and fire and other safety members. You would just help them in their efforts to protect our city and keep us safe. Pray that you would just watch over our meeting here tonight, that we would do things according to your law. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible.
Next on the agenda is caucus. Do we have anything pertaining to the meeting tonight?
Mr. President,
Mr. Marmy.
make a motion to excuse Mr. Ryan.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Marmy, second by Mr. Hauser. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. That passes 9-0. Minutes of the January 6th meeting, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Labuda, second by Mr. Hauser. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Passes. Appointments, North City Director Mata requests for appointing Marco Budis and Julio Valdez. Valderas, thank you. To the Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council. The 3 terms begin January 1st, 2025, will expire December 31st, 2027. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That passes 9-0. Mayor Jeff Already appointing John Paul, Steve Lehman to the City of Newark Board of Zoning Adjustment. Their terms begin January 1st, 2025, will expire December 31st, 2028. Subsequent appointments will be for 4 terms. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. That passes 9-0. Next up, Mayor Hall reappointing City of Newark Engineer Brian Moorhead to the Newark CIC Community Improvement Corporation, known as the Newark Development Partners. His new term began January 1st, 2025, will expire December 31st, 2027. All in favor, say aye. All opposed. That passes 9-0. Next up, reports of standing committee service personnel without objection will be received and filed. Reports from city officials, GPU, tax administrative officer office, income tax revenue reports for period ending December 31st, 2024. No communications this meeting. Next up is comments from citizens. This is your opportunity to speak. Do we have anybody tonight who would like to come and speak? Next up, ordinance on the second reading. There are none this meeting. Next up, ordinance on the first reading, 25-01. Amy, please read.
Ordinance number 25-01 by Mr. Barker, Mr. Cost, Mr. Marmy, Mr. Neely, and Ms. Blind. An ordinance amending the position classification, pay range, and department authorization tables of the City of Newark, Department of Public Service, Division of Wastewater Treatment Plant, by abolishing the classification 1 of industrial waste inspector operator while creating one additional classification of operations technician operator and setting the compensation therefore.
25-01 would be held until our next meeting, which would be February the 3rd. Next up is the resolutions on the second reading.
Resolution number 24-105 by Mr. Marmy, Mr. Barker, Mr. Rath, Mr. Cost, Ms. Blind, Mr. Neely. A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Newark to apply for funding from the United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance under the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant Program.
Further reading 24-105, what is your wish?
Mr. President,
Mr. Marmy?
make a motion to adopt resolution 24-105.
Second. Got a motion by Mr. Marmy, second by Mr. Barker. Do we have any discussion? Amy, please call the roll.
Mr. Neely?
Yes.
Mr. Rath?
Yes.
Mr. Ryan? Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Blind? Yes. Mr. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Cost?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Labutus?
Yes.
Mr. Marmy?
Yes.
24-105 passes 9-0. Next up is 24-111.
Resolution number 24-111 by Mr. Marmy, Mr. Barker, Mr. Cost, Mr. Rath, Ms. Blind, Mr. Neely. A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Newark to submit an application to the Ohio Department of Public Safety for an award of fiscal year 2025-2026 funding under the Ohio EMS Training and Equipment Grant Program.
Further reading of 24-111, what is your wish?
Mr. President,
Mr. Marmy?
make a motion to adopt resolution 24-111. Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Marmy, second by Mr. Cost. Do we have any discussion? Amy, please call the roll.
Mr. Neely?
Yes.
Mr. Rath?
Yes.
Mr. Ryan? Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Blind?
Yes.
Mr. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Cost?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Labutus?
Yes.
Mr. Marmy?
Yes.
24-111 passes 9-0. Next up is 24-112.
Resolution number 24-112 by Mr. Marmy, Mr. Barker, Mr. Cost, Mr. Rath, Ms. Blind, Mr. Neely. A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Newark to prepare and submit applications to the Department of Homeland Security for fiscal year 2024 Fire Act grant programs in support of training programs, equipment purchases, funding for personnel, fire prevention, and fire safety programs throughout the city.
Further reading of 24-112, what is your wish?
Mr. President,
Mr. Marmy?
make a motion to adopt 24-112.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Marmy, second by Mr. Cost. Do we have any discussion? Amy, please call the roll.
Mr. Neely?
Yes.
Mr. Rath?
Yes.
Mr. Ryan? Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Ms. Blind?
Yes.
Mr. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Cost?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Labutus?
Yes.
Mr. Marmy?
Yes.
24-112 passes 9-0. And the last one tonight is resolutions on the first reading, 25-01.
Resolution number 25-01 by Mr. Rath, Mr. Cost, Mr. Marmy, Mr. Barker, and Ms. Blind. A resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Service of the City of Newark, Ohio to enter into contract without competitive bidding, subject to the appropriation of funds for the purchase of a new service truck and utility bed for the Water Distribution Sewer Maintenance Department.
25-01 will be held until our next meeting, February the 3rd. That completes our ordinance resolutions tonight. Next up is comments from citizens. Do we have any? City officials?
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the committee. Just to make you aware, I've had 2 retirements in the fire division. Glenn appointed 30 years chief. Then Captain Sean Glancy, 32 years. Sean and I hired in together way back in the day. We've had a civil service test, 30 persons passed that closed at midnight. So we'll get that list up and running, get them backfilled. And then Randy McDaniel, 27 years on the wastewater treatment plant. Tomorrow, 11:30, water admin, emergency provided him properly. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any other city officials? Law director?
Thank you. First of all, congratulations to Fire Excellence and to President Harris on a great community breakfast.
Thank you.
Your speech was great.
Thank you.
Also condolences to the family and friends of Coach Dave Klontz from the city of Heath. Definitely a legend, not only as a coach, but just as a mentor, human being. Very sad to hear of his passing. With that, I pass.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, kind of on the personnel, I want to congratulate Corey Stevens that was promoted today in PD to sergeant. And that's always a great time. He's an outstanding officer and it's really nice to have him in that role. Such a critical role at PD And, as many of them say, it's probably the most enjoyable role in many ways, but they truly make the difference out on the street, working with their teams as they work to protect us. Thank you to all our safety forces and street departments, everybody that has to work out this way. It's a little tough, a little challenging, but they do a great job of it, so thank you. And, while our law director stole some of my thunder there, I thought our own council president did a great job as a keynote speaker yesterday. And, I want to thank the community for turnout. What a great showing yesterday, even with some challenging weather, and sometimes you always wake up in the morning. Well, Mr. Harris said he thought maybe 20 people would be there, and I think he was laughing at that. It was great to see the room full. And, I think we have a proud community that represents MLK Junior Day the right way. And, so thank you very much. With that, I pass.
Thank you. Mr. Neely,
Thank you, Mr. President, I will pass.
Mr. Rath,
I'll call a service committee meeting for February the 3rd. And I think I'll pass from there.
Mr. Barker,
Thank you, Mr. President. Just again to echo, great job organizing and keynoting yesterday at the Martin Luther King breakfast. It's always a fun event. At least it wasn't, level 1 or level 2 snow emergency this year. We all could get to it on time. With that, I'll pass.
thank you, Ms. Blunt.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Mr. President, again, you did a great job yesterday. I want to congratulate Ms. James and Par Excellence on the #1 reading and math Success for All program in the nation. That's a big deal. That's I've worked with Success for All, and it's not easy. It's, you have to be very diligent and stay on task. So congratulations, Ms. James and Par Excellence. And our dear friend, Mr. Cost, will be keeping your wife in our prayers tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank the churches that have been opening up during this cold snap. And I'd like to thank them again for investing in the people that they are taking in. Some are being taken into homes. They're being transitioned from addiction into being clean. And then some have even stayed further to get employment and places to live all through these congregations. So thank you, special thanks to these congregations. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Shu.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll just echo everyone else. It was a great turnout at the MLK breakfast, and appreciate your work there and did a good job with the speech. And I thought it was it's always a good reminder. President Harris reminded us that the MLK Day is a day of service, and the only barrier to service is us deciding to roll up our sleeves and serve. It was a great reminder. So thank you, sir. With that, I'll pass.
Thank you, Mr. Cost,
I have no pass, thank you.
Mr. Hauser.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll just say to Mr. Cost, I intended to lift up wife in prayers, but I will let you know, I'll definitely be doing that this evening, as I know that that's something I'm sure it's on your guys' hearts and minds, lifting her up this evening. I also want to say thank you to President Harris on a great job at the MLK breakfast. I thought you did a great job in your speech, and it was a good way to celebrate that day. So with that, I will pass.
Thank you, Mr. Labutus.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank Brandon Fox for some help with water main break in the fourth ward a couple days ago. They were able to fix that quickly and get that remedied, so that was very appreciated. Congratulations, obviously, to Parx on a great breakfast yesterday morning, and to President Harris on a great keynote speech as well. It was great to hear all the great things that Parx is achieving with their students and how they're changing their lives every day. So very important on that end, and Mr. Costa will be thinking about you tomorrow.
Thank you.
With that, I will pass.
Thank you, Mr. Marmy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Need to call a finance committee meeting. Mr. Cost, of course, my prayers will be with you and your wife tomorrow and this evening. Also, I'm going to echo what the law director indicated with Coach Collins. He was Heath baseball coach. However, he touched the lives of everybody who competed against him, who just met him one time. Just a steward to not only Heath, Newark, Licking County, all the surrounding counties. Just a true gentleman, and somebody we should all aspire to be more like. I also want to state that, it was great breaking bread with a lot of my colleagues and friends and, with President Harris as far as, the speech that he provided. Very inspirational. Everybody who spoke was inspirational. The update on the playground was just phenomenal as far as what the vision of what they want that to be. I think it was just an uplifting morning and, something that was, if you weren't able to be there, then you missed a chance to just kind of give you that little bit of oomph for the day. And, with that, I would just say that, I think the Buckeyes were there yesterday morning, and that's kind of, I think they said it all, and I don't need to say anymore. So with that, I pass.
Thank you, Mr. Marmy. Thank you all for the kind words yesterday. And I appreciate all you guys coming. And, every year you guys come and support it, and I appreciate that, and school appreciate that. That was nerve wracking just to get everything together. Problem is I had too long, he asked me in October, and last week I think I ripped up 7 or 8 different topics and speeches. I felt like I was back in school term papers, you just rip them up and just keep going, but thank you guys for everything you did yesterday. I have to say this one last thing. About 2 weeks ago, I did a live interview. And Dave Downey is watching right now from WNKO because he told me he watches all the council meetings. I did a live interview with Dave about the breakfast. And he had a Notre Dame sweatshirt and a Notre Dame hat. Of course, I walked in with my Ohio State stuff. And he started trash talking in the beginning of the interview about Notre Dame, how good they are, they're going to be the Ohio State. And so we were going back and forth. I told him that Ohio State would win 42-17. I was close, but So at the end, then we start talking about the breakfast. So at the end of the interview, right before he shut it off, he knew what he was going to do. He had the last word. But tonight, Dave, we'll let you know that the Buckeyes won. So everybody's going to join in, but the law director. OH. Motion by Mr. Booth, second by Mr. Thompson. Stay on. I hear an echo. I'm going to wait for a text here. Well,